What is up, y'all? What is up? What is up? What is up? Get this set up right quick. All right. People gonna be like, "You streaming right now?" Yep, I am. I am definitely streaming right now. All right. All right. All right. Not me trying to click the X on the share in the post thing. Brother. How's it going 0 to full stack? Is the sound good? Is it raining? Is it? I forgot. No, you're in Croatia, right? Hold on. I'm getting you mixed. Are you in Croatia or are you in Texas? Okay, yeah, okay. It's raining. It's raining here. It is raining here. Ooh, oh my God. You wanna be my friend? -5 degrees Celsius. -5 degree, -5 C to F. 23, that's cold. I mean, it's cold. It's really cold. It's cold, but it's not, Yeah, it's cold. It's cold as hell. If it hit 23 here, yeah. I think in America, so this is the ideal temperature here for most people, 70. So that's 21. In Texas, it gets to about an average of 97, no, 97 every day in the summer. Spring, it'll be around 80, right? 80. No, I'm just telling because he's talking Celsius, so I'm just showing him what we feel like might be, uh, you know, like if it was 23 in Texas, 23 in Texas is different than 2023 in like Michigan. Yeah, 40 42. Oh wow, what's up, Artie? How you doing? Uh, all right. All righty. What's up from Russia? What's up, Russia? How's the weather in Russia? What we doing today? Shit, the same thing we've been doing every day, coding. Probably gonna do something a little bit different. Because I was supposed to be learning Tailwind. They told me I should learn Tailwind. Let me ask one of my friends. Is it a good idea to learn Tailwind? Let me ask Josh. What's up, Bossman? Let's get some coding done. I'll be busy setting up Ubuntu. What's up? People keep, how's the recipe? The recipe finder is going good. So let's just pull up that. Because sometimes I feel like I'm boring people with the recipe finder and stuff. Yeah, I think Tailwind is industry standard at this point, right? You can learn Tailwind already. You know plenty CSS. What's up, Devin? What's up? So what? We gonna learn Tailwind. So what y'all want to see me do? We can start on the recipe project, or we can go to uh, we can start on the recipe project, or we can start learning with Tailwind on stream. What y'all want to do? What y'all want to do? Y'all want to learn Tailwind, or y'all want to see me continue the recipe finder website? Let's learn 3JS. That's actually on the menu. Finish what you start. Don't lose focus. All right. David is right. So he's right. We gotta finish this. So the recipe finder is going good. Everything's going good. Um, all right. Yeah, because I'm ready to get this over with. I'm so tired of this. People want to know me as the person who's on. What's up, NATO? People want to know me as the person who spent 700 hours on this one thing. So it looks good at 768. Yesterday we were at 375. Okay, so I got 375 working. So I think what I was working on. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is what I was working on. All right, yeah. Oh yes, don't abandon projects midway. That's my forte. You're right. You people are keeping me in the game. You're keeping me in the game. Hey, as you know, I've been testing the maximum number of YouTube accounts right now and past 100. Scott, stop. Stop it. I was just about to say that. Did I just say touch grass? I was just thinking it. You just said it. We need a command. If you write what touch grass should say, like give me whatever you think it should say, I'll make the command. Okay. So just send it to me in a DM. Okay, so what I'm gonna do today is I think we were working on this part right here. Let me open up the Figma file. Let me open. Yes, go touch grass and get me a cup of strawberry matcha on the way. I've never had matcha before. Is it good? Send it to me in my DMs. I'm not gonna see it in. Send it to me in my DMs. Hold on, Josh is messaging me back. Okay. You heard about Comet browser? Use the browser for learn Java. It very help. Okay. So let me ask y'all this. You know what? I'm gonna make a poll in because I am willing to change browsers. So let's see. I'm gonna create a poll. I think I can create a poll. Let's see. Where should I make an announcement? How did he do this? What is it? Slash. How do I create a poll? How did he create a poll? Y'all know how to create a poll in Discord? Let me see. Now I'm gonna have to look this up. Click the plus icon. Create a poll. Okay. What browser should I switch to? What are some browser options? So we got Chrome, we got Firefox, we got Edge, we got Brave. um what are some browser options? Because I like to just stick to one. So there's Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Brave. Am I forgetting one? All right. Arc. I'll just put it there. Any other one? Any other one? Going once. Going twice. I don't know. Okay, UC browser. I don't know what that is, but I'll just add it. Okay. Duck, duck, go. Okay. So I guess that's it. So we're gonna keep it up for. We're just gonna keep it up for 3 days. And we will. Should I allow multiple answers? I don't know. Nah. All right. Can I edit this? No, I'll just say at everyone choose. All right. Yeah, going. Oh, oh. All right. Yeah, I like Brave too. Opera GX has this is Opera GX. It has what was I gonna say? Let's just look up Brave. Woo! Do we have a dark mode, honey? Where the dark mode is? Ah! The light. Oh, okay, that's better. They don't even put Opera here. I have Brave on my phone. Brave is by the same guy who was on who made Firefox, right? Like he worked for Firefox, or he was a part of the team that created Firefox. I am not. You think so? What do y'all see most developers using? I'm a gamer. Chrome and Firefox and Brave. What the hell is this? Brave and Chrome are okay. Well, the poll is up. If y'all want to vote, the poll is in the Discord. So currently, people, we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, so y'all just go here and vote. So now we're going to continue on. All right. Firefox has a URL limit. I don't think Brave does. What is it? What do you mean a URL limit? What does that mean? Firefox. I don't want Firefox. What's up, internet? All right. So why don't we get started? All right. So this is text preset 7. And I think this needs to be curved. See, it needs to be curved. It has a border radius of 8. And it's okay. All right. So that's really close. See? That's close. What's up? What's up, Jatish? What? How long was my Discord ban? Oh, it has so many solutions. All right. All right. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let's just add some. I think I already did that because I said yeah. I added it to so on click. Let's say oops. All right. Bro, whoa. It's not doing the thing, man. Oh, all of this works already. Okay, but this doesn't work. Um, hamburger container dot add event listener click. Why isn't that working? Let's take it out of this mode right quick. Hmm. Well, that's weird. Now let's find our. Let's see why that's not working. Let me fix that right quick because I think that might be the problem because I got the hide me thing on it. So let me just remove that. It's not responding to clicks. I wonder why. Also, he did not know what the links were because they were two random links from me. It does work because module. I guess you've used the await keyword outside the async function. Try fixing that first. We'll get to that. Oh, actually, no, you're right. Hold on. What if that is the problem? Let's see. Hold on. All of this only is supposed to happen at a certain. Yeah, I think that's the problem. I need to. This was the problem I was running into the other day where, like, each page has a different thing going on. Why is that doing that, man? But that shouldn't interfere with. Should it? No, no, that's not the problem. Let me fix this first. There are some things that aren't on every page. Nah, because even if I do this, even if I do this, I put this here, we'll still have errors. Search input is not defined. See, and I know there's a way to, but that still shouldn't stop this from being clicked. That's the thing. What's up, take it easy? What's up? All right, so anyway. Welcome to the Discord. What if I go to, let's go to recipes. What? All right. Oh, I see. Yeah. Whoever said that was right. So now I need to figure out how can I only allow certain things to run on the page if it's there. A different JS file for each page. I don't know how to do that. What is that called? So I just make another JS file for. Are you saying that I could do something like, y'all giving me a lot of different information. So I can create another JS file and just link it to about, I mean, recipes. Okay, so I see that the chat is just going to lead me in a different direction. Okay, different JS files for different web pages. How? I didn't. That's that. I didn't say that. Why that doesn't sound right at all. A JavaScript file for each. That For each recipe? Why? All right. So the chat is not going to be helpful today.
So today I'm going to explain ES6 modules in JavaScript. A module is an external file that contains reusable code that can be imported into other JavaScript files. Let's say you write a really difficult program. Well, any part of that program you can import into a different application if you don't feel like rewriting it. Modules can contain variables, classes, functions, and more. ES6 modules were introduced as part of the ECMAScript 2015 update. Using modules, we can create some reusable code that can be used in different programs, different JavaScript files. So what we'll do in this example, we will create a new file. I'll create a module for some math utility functions. This file will be math.util.js. It's a separate JavaScript file. From our index file, we will import this module, math.util.js. But in order to do so, within our HTML file, we have to set the type attribute equal to module. We'll now treat our index file as a module. We can import and export other modules freely, but we have to be sure to include this attribute and set it equal to module. So within our math.util module, we can write some reusable code for other programs. So let's define what pi is. Pi equals 3.14159. We'll create a function to get circumference. You have to pass in a radius though. That's going to be the parameter. Function get circumference. We need a radius. We will return 2 times pi times radius. Then we'll create a function to get area. Get area. We still need a radius. We will return pi times radius times radius. Then get volume to get the volume of a sphere. Function get volume. Again, we need a radius. We will return 4. So these files are right next to each other. Relatively speaking, use object destructs module. Then from our index CSS file, I will import. Then we're going to use object destructuring. We need a set of curly braces from the location of that module. So these files are right next to each other. Relatively speaking, they're right next to each other. I would need dot this JavaScript module get or my job let's get the circumference, but we do do need to pass in a radius. This is a function that we have imported from that mathutils module. I will store the result within a variable const circumference equals, we'll invoke the get circumference function from that module. I'll pass in 10. Then we're going to display the circumference. I'll use console.log. I'll use a template string, include a placeholder, display the circumference, plus a unit of measurement like centimeters. 62.8318 centimeters. This isn't necessary, but I'm going to round this number to 2 decimal places using the to fixed method of numbers. Let's round to 2 decimal places. Let's create an area variable. Const area equal
Hmm. Why are y'all arguing like that? Y'all been arguing probably for the last 10 minutes. As long as y'all not arguing, you know I don't like that. What's up, Vikash? I'm coding. We are having a lot of problems. A lot. Hmm. It won't ever operate on undefined because It's never going to run on the about page. This function will never run on the about page. All of these things that are needed will never run on the about page. What's up, Darkenville? Oh, Lord. Oh, the whole thing is messed up. Okay, let me think. It's saying that, hmm. But y'all been giving advice but not knowing what's going on. Okay. So the recipes page, everything works fine. The problem is on the about and the index page. We're trying to gather elements that don't even exist on the about and the index page. Okay? That's the problem. We're trying to gather elements that do not exist on the about and the index page, but they exist on the recipes page. Okay. So I'm just gonna What's up, Josh?
Hello.
I have a question. Oh, I'm on stream by the way.
Oh yeah, cool.
Is that okay? Okay. You think you can
I'm
help me?
yeah, I'm in it. It's on the background.
Oh, okay. I have a question. People in okay,
Mm-hmm.
because okay. So I have some elements um on a page. Hold on. I have some elements on a page and they're only on one page, but they're not on another page. But three of these um each three of these pages share the same JavaScript. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure you already know where I'm going with
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I'm wondering what do you think is the best way to handle this?
Oh, this is when it's so much easier in a framework. You could you not be checking when you're running the function what page is on, and then say, hey, if we're not on this page, return.
You know what? You're right. I could do that.
Um, I of course I haven't looked at your code at all, but
Hmm.
from what you're telling me, that's what I do. Is there like are there errors popping up?
It just has to do with. No, I think what you just said would work because yeah, I can just what I'm thinking is I have a class attached to the body and it's different for each page. And I'm thinking like if that class on the body exists, then these variables will start, these variables will go ahead and run.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah, that's the thing with JavaScript. Of course, there's so many ways you can do it. Your way actually makes more sense. You are right. You shouldn't be checking the page because that's more work. You should be checking if element is rendered,
Okay.
if class exists. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
I would do
So
that.
let me see. Let me try to do that right now then. I was getting confused because everybody's saying something different in the chat.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't understand how you can read a chat when trying to fix something because there's so many ways to do different things. It
Oh,
really, all you
yeah.
could do is try think what's the most performant way, but it really won't make that much difference in the
Yeah.
grand scheme.
Contains. I think you're the first person I've ever had on stream.
No way. Feel
Yeah.
honored.
See. So if it contains recipes. I just realized like I think this might not be the right approach either. Because if I define these variables inside of an if block, then they are scoped to the if block, not the right? Something like that.
Um, God, I try to read from all I can see.
You know what? No, I think somebody you would have to call the function inside the block. Okay, so I think okay, I know. All right, I got this. So I think we would do like could we just say let? I think I could just do let max prep time, let max. Okay. What you up to?
Not much, not much. I put the analytics service up on awards site and it won something today, so
Oh, you won something?
managing. Nothing big. This was like one of the baby awards sites. I start with baby ones and then build it up.
Yeah.
But it's been getting okay traffic from that, so I've just been making sure everything's okay.
Yeah.
Um,
That's still a big deal.
doing some tiny adjustments, but yeah, I'm very happy about it. But we'll see if we can get a big award. That would be massive. It's
Yeah.
also looking at everyone's sites that they're making, that they're putting on, is so fun.
Yeah. What's crazy is that like, and I'm talking to you and the people in the chat. Well, I'm really talking to people in the chat. We literally have a whole section, and y'all know this. We have a whole section in the Discord dedicated to when we have problems like this. Like you literally just put your stuff in the code snippets. So I don't know why y'all are like you could it literally just come in here in the code snippets. Like the whole point of this channel is for me to you know. So I'll just leave that alone.
Maybe they don't know. Maybe they don't know.
Let search input. Let clear.
You're doing extra. I'm just looking at your chat now. You're doing extra work.
Yeah. Oh, I could have just listed these out. I didn't have to do this. Whatever. I'll just let it. Um.
Yeah, I see what take it easy as take it easy as yeah. Take it easy, yeah, is saying you can just write a function with whatever you want in and then put in an if statement if this exists, run and then function. But I don't fully know what you're trying to do, so I don't want to confuse you.
I'm already confused. That's why I saw you in here. I was like, let me ask
Yeah.
you because I think the thing is I'm pretty sure people have good ideas, but when you're reading that chat and you're trying to decipher through like a million different things, it's like I
Yeah, I
can't.
bet.
So that's why I created that channel. So there's nothing I can do because I'll be trying to decipher that.
Stuff to run when recipe exists. What stuff are we running?
Where the recipe page has different elements on it than all other pages.
Yeah. Oh, so you're just literally gonna do a get element by ID for that. Oh,
Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is I'm put all these event listeners inside this if, and it might not be the most performant thing to do, but hold on, where's everything else? Okay, hold on, I'm confused. Okay. Search input. All right, there we go.
Take it easy. I get what you're saying, but what if he wants to use those elements outside of the function? Mm. Oh god, you're gonna love React.
Yeah.
Let's see that. Let's see that.
Okay. I think I can breathe now. All right. Hmm. Let's go back to stream. I'm gonna leave Discord.
All right.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you. Time for a break. Break. Oh, there's no. You look like you didn't want to. All right. What's up, Sebastian? So that is how we are going to solve that. Thank you for everyone who suggested the null checking and all that extra stuff. But for my sanity, I will not be doing any of that shit. I will just be having a different JS file, and that is what we're going to be doing. Right, Malachi? Why are you looking like that? What's up? I'm solved. Dora. Dora, the Explorer. Da na 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 na. Dora. Swiper no swiping. Swiper no swiping. Aw, man. Dora the Explorer. I advise everyone to learn in public because there's a beautiful skill that you learn and a lot of patience that you gain from streaming and doing this. When I went into the Discord server just now and I spoke to Josh, Josh, if you're listening, can you send a link? Can you please send a link if you're watching? Can you send a link to the award you just won on whatever website it was to me? And I can post it. You want me to post? You want to post the analytics site? Hold on. Y'all go check out Josh's. Yeah, this site it's a site analytics site. You literally add one thing of JavaScript at the bottom of your web page, and it gives you analytics. There's also a leaderboard on that website that lets you. I think the leaderboard is for most visits and stuff. So if you go to it, he designed that whole website himself. He's a creative designer. creative web developer, but he also is full stack. And he's sitting in the Discord right now. If y'all want to go tackle him and destroy him, I'm letting them know your location, Josh. So I think he won a small award for that website. So I'll go to it on stream right now. This is the website that he made. Let me make myself smaller. Boop, 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 boop. All right. So this is the website. As you can see, there's different websites that he has. This is one of the websites that he made. I think this is his developer portfolio. I know he uses a combination of GSAP, 3JS, and some other things. Here's another site that's using this analytics. This is another website that he developed. See? And so there's a leaderboard that shows which sites have, I guess, the most visits. And I think there's there's also week to date. Simple website analytics built for designers and creative developers. It says the visits right there. Oh, and here's a picture of what the dashboard looks like. That's what I was looking for. All right. So there you go. There's a quick walkthrough video.
Hello, my name's Josh, the maker of Measured Analytics, and I'm just going to give you a brief walkthrough of how you can get started. Hello, my name's Josh, the
Well,
maker of Measured Analytics, and I'm just going to give you a brief walkthrough of how you can get started with our service. You can sign in through Google Auth or email, whatever you prefer. Then you'll receive an email, the quick magic link. Press that, sign in. You can either go through this window or return to the old one. So you can see I've already got some sites set up. Let's make a new one. Test. And now let's add our site. You do not need to put the HTTPS in. If you want to, go for it. So here's the script that you put in the HTML of your site, or there's documentation, whatever method you're using to host your site. You can allow tracking on localhost, and here is also our proxy guide to improve your analytics and avoid ad blockers. So once you've added that, you press I've installed the script, and it should take you through to your dashboard. Now this, I haven't put the script in, but let me take you to one that has been set up. Right, so here is the site we're on's analytics. Here you have the live visitors, visitors throughout the day, session times, countries. You can select periods. And this is showing the current hours throughout the day, how many visitors you're getting on a bar graph. You have your countries, regions, cities, channels, referrals, operating systems and devices, which you can get all the data through. And then you also have the pages visited, the page they enter through and exit. Now here is also custom events. If you read through our documentation, there's a section, a small function that you can add to your code, and it will track whatever you put. It's a lot easier to just read through the docs. It's very simple. And then you also have the settings for your page, see how many events it's been using, find your script again, so on. So that's just a brief overview of the site. Any questions, contact us at hello@measured.site, and thank you for using us.
Okay, so Josh made that video, and I am exposing his location. It says he's AFK, but he's in the Discord. He is there. Go. Hunt him down. So this is his website. And if I get the award site that he put this thing on, I'm going to this analytics site on. I'm going to send it to y'all. So that is Josh. He is one of the people in our Discord. We have a lot of creative people in the Discord. What y'all think? What did y'all think about that site? All right. So we spent about an hour. Okay, so we only spent an hour and a half on that. Sometimes when you're in it, it feels like it takes longer, but it wasn't that long. Oh, this is Josh's site, by the way, if y'all want to check him out. Yeah, Josh is pretty cool. He's pretty nice. Met him in another Discord server. So I want to thank y'all for bearing with me because I was getting a little frustrated. I know some of y'all done seen me get frustrated on stream where I'm like, what do I do? So I think separate. I looked it up. I actually asked Gemini, and then I looked at some other links, and it led me to some links on Reddit, and not Stack Overflow, but mostly Reddit. And it told me some of the people in there were like, yeah, it's better to just make different JavaScript files. So that's what I did. So that's what we're gonna do. But I think Take It Easy and New had great ideas. I don't want to make y'all think I wasn't listening to y'all. That's what you said? I didn't know that's what you said. I didn't know. I knew I had to close the chat. Oh. New. Hey, Kyle. New. I had to close the chat. It was just too much. Like, imagine you're trying to figure out a problem, and then you have this chat over here that's going like, no, he should do this. No, he should do that. No, he should do a backflip. No, he should do a cartwheel, bitch. Like, damn. So I didn't know. I didn't know that's what you were saying. But for future, please go to Le Code Snippets channel and put all of your stuff here. And you can at me and just be like that. Oh, see, you can at me. We all agreed at separation, just a difference in how much was needed in the instance. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I'm still learning, so I don't want to make it. I just don't want y'all to think that I don't appreciate your advice. Because I do. I do. In here, right here. Right in between here. All right. Is it similar to HTML how you have different files for each web page? I mean, yeah, but this was my first time ever. Like, would you consider this? I run common header file, so I add in menu two-liner directly there, but a separate, not JS, but what they do was, yeah, separation was the only answer, but how to separate was the issue. Exactly. That. So, what's next? I need to take a break from this because this gave me a headache. Why don't we do some Tailwind stuff? Let's see what Tailwind is teaching us today. Y'all got a good Tailwind tutorial? Let's go read the Rust book. Yeah. There's a Rust book. You want me to just wing it with the doc? You know what? Fine. fine. All right. There's a playground. Jovan, Hovan. Um, this, I recommend this. I recommend this. Gale, there's no difference. Gale is just some type of company that helps. Like, I don't really know what Gale does, but I think it's like a portal. Let me check. Okay, so I think Gale, what Gale does is like, cause I'm getting it through the Houston community, Houston, I guess, no, Harris County Public Library, which is Houston. Uh, and so I guess I'm assuming Gale works as an intermediary, so it lets you connect, like, so all the people with the library cards, I guess they connect to Gale, and then Gale connects to Udemy Business or whatever. I don't know. I'm assuming that's how that works. But yeah, it's just a connector. At least that's how I'm thinking about it. So Gale, but through Gale, I get all of these courses for free because I'm technically a resident of Harris County. So there was somebody else on stream yesterday, Trey. If Trey ever comes in here, he on stream, like in that moment, he went to his library system in his city and found out that he had it too. So you have to check to see if your city does it. Some cities do it, some don't. But I recommend this course. Here's another thing. Y'all ready for this? Okay, I'm not gonna say too much, but I want y'all to pay attention to what I'm about to do. Are y'all paying attention? Okay. This is called the Complete JavaScript Course 2025, right?
So we learned. Welcome back to your first coding challenge of this section. Hello and welcome to the Complete JavaScript course. I'm really happy
That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. If you can pay, go pay. I recommend paying because Jonas is a good guy. He seems like a good family man. So if you can pay, pay. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. All right. All right. No. I wanna. If anybody's new to Udemy, they have sales almost every week. They go down to $15. Do not pay the base price. Yeah, just what every freaking week. And what I found out, let me tell you something. Sometimes they give discounts to certain users based on who that user is. And I found this out because I created 2 or 3 different Udemy accounts and found out that if I logged into certain ones, I would get a discount compared to other ones. There you go. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know. Okay, so why don't we learn some Tailwind? Yay, we're learning Tailwind. What's cool is that there's a course that I wanted to take on Tailwind. by Brad. Tailwind. Okay, y'all, is Tailwind a CSS preprocessor? Is that what we call that? Y'all let me know. All right, so I watched the introduction yesterday.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to my Tailwind CSS course.
I don't think I can show
Tailwind
y'all this stuff.
is a
Copyright.
utility first framework. We'll talk more about what that means in a little bit. But basically, I have 6 landing page websites.
All right. Hi, everyone. Just a quick heads up. He's using version 3, but I don't know the difference between Tailwind. So Tailwind is on version. So version 4 is the newest one. So I guess they're all the same. So what is it? You said it's not a preprocessor. Then what is it? You just said it's not a preprocessor. Then what is it? Okay. It's a framework. That's your answer. Whoever asked it. All right. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start this course.
All right, guys, so I just want to quickly outline.
So I think I can show a few videos, but not a lot.
We're going to create. So this is tailwindfromscratch.com. This is a website that I threw together just to kind of show you the projects and go over the outline. And this is actually one of the themes that we'll be creating along with the light and dark modes. So if we go to the About section, there's 3 parts to this course, really. There's the Code Sandbox, which we'll be starting with. And if you took my Bootstrap course or my HTML CSS course, then you know that a sandbox, what it is, it's just a bunch of files to look at certain aspects of whatever we're working on, in this case Tailwind. So we'll have files for color classes.
So we'll just look at this, but once we get into the meat and potatoes, I can't show the rest of the course because that would be stealing money out of Brad's pocket.
And then once we do that, we'll move on to the mini projects. So we have 5 mini projects that will take.
Yeah, you're right. Let me go ahead and.
Minutes to complete. Just one video.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and take that off. Yeah, this one is supposed to make CSS faster. So I'm gonna just learn it on stream. Fuck it.
Straight through. And then we move on to the 6 website projects, which are larger landing page projects with anywhere from 8 to 10 videos each. And the design for these were all inspired from the Front End Mentor website, which they have all kinds of challenge websites. And they allowed us to pick some for the course to basically replicate using Tailwind CSS. So definitely check them out. Check the actual projects out as well because there's some extra challenges and so on. But down here, let's see, course credits. So of course I'm the instructor and project developer. Saba Kissy also worked on this course with me. He created a bunch of these projects, so I want to give credit to him. You can follow him on Twitter. And of course, Front End Mentor is a collaborator for project inspiration. So down here we have all 11 projects, including the mini ones. So these first 5 are the mini projects. First one being this email subscription.
What the hell? Is the website not up? Did I type that in right? Tailwind from Ratch.com. Oh, the site's not up anymore.
Subscribe form, so pretty simple. Everything's going to be completely responsive, so it'll all look good on mobile devices as well. Then we have these pricing grids here. I'm just going to go through these real quick. A product modal, so some hover effects. We have some animation on the stock here. Then we have the image gallery, so simple image gallery, and we have these hover effects where we can see the content. We have a menu here, and again, everything is going to be nice on mobile screens as well. So the last mini project is this login modal, so just really cool looking login form. And then the first website project is this clipboard website, which is just kind of a landing page for a software product. You have some download buttons, no menu at the top or anything, very simple, but very clean looking. So these images, we have, down here we'll be using Flexbox, and of course everything will stack and look nice. Okay, then we have this Loop Studios project, and this is going to have a navigation menu at the top with the hamburger menu on smaller screens. So we will be writing some JavaScript for that. There are a couple of things in these projects where we will be writing some JavaScript, but nothing crazy. Then we have these images here with a gradient overlay, footer. Next project is this Shortly website. So it's a website where you would create short links. So we have this little form here. We'll do a little bit of validation as well with JavaScript. Then we have these boxes with a horizontal line, and on smaller screens, the vertical line. We also have the cool looking hamburger menu as well. Okay, and then the next project is the testimonial grid. So in this project, we're going to use all CSS grid classes, including row span and calls website, and we're going to include creation. So we'll be setting up an optional video to show you how to use Tailwind along with Webpack and Post CSS. So it's a little more advanced, but it's completely optional. You don't even have to watch that video. All right, and then the sandbox is going to be a completely separate repository, which we'll get into in the next section. Okay, so that's it, guys. Just wanted to kind of give you a preview of everything. So next we're going to just talk a little bit more about what Tailwind is.
I have used Obsidian.
Alright guys, so before we get into learning Tailwind CSS, I just want to briefly talk about what it is and some of its advantages. Because in the world of web development, we're constantly blasted with different frameworks and technologies, so we should discuss if they're worth using and what they can do for us. So Tailwind is a CSS framework that uses very low-level utility classes to create layouts, and it's known as what's called a utility-first framework. And in this video, we're going to do quite a bit of comparison with Bootstrap just because it's the most popular CSS framework, it's been around for a while, and most other frameworks are very similar to Bootstrap. So you can just replace the word Bootstrap with Foundation or Materialize or any other framework. So frameworks like Bootstrap give you a set of classes where many of them correlate directly to components like alerts, nav bars, cards, etc., where Tailwind, on the other hand, gives you a huge set of utilities or utility classes to create your own custom components. So it's very unopinionated. There's no alert class with a predefined design or anything like that. You decide what an alert looks like with the utilities that you're given. So to be more specific, utility classes are simple HTML classes typically scoped to a single and specific CSS property. Whereas with something like Bootstrap, you could have a class that represents a dozen or more different CSS properties. So let's just take a look at this example here. So we have a div that has a class of maxWXL. So this is a class that handles the max width. It doesn't handle anything else, just that. And the XL is the size, which references a certain number of rems or pixels, and you can actually customize what that size is from the configuration. So MX Auto references the margin on the x-axis. So we're saying the right and left margin, and we're setting it to auto, which is usually used to center the element. And then P2 is a padding class. It means padding all around, and that too represents a certain number of rems or pixels, which again can be changed. So the H2 has a class of text2XL, and that pertains to the font size. Font bold, obviously that's the font weight. And then we have a class of MB2, that's margin bottom. All right, so in all these classes, they're named according to their purpose. So it's very clear, it's easy to remember, you know exactly what these classes do. There's no naming inconsistencies, and having these utilities available allows for very fast UI creation. And if you want to test certain things out and change things around, it's extremely easy to do, and you can do it really quickly. So in some cases, you know, this gets rid of the need for design software like Figma or you know, Adobe XD or something, because you can do it so quickly within the browser, and that's really what I love about Tailwind. Now the downside is that people seem to complain that there's a lot of classes in the HTML, and that's true. However, you can create custom classes and use certain directives like apply to apply the classes from within a custom CSS file if you really want to clean up the number of classes in your HTML. And I'll show you how to do all that stuff later. All right, now I don't want to sound like I'm bashing Bootstrap. I really like Bootstrap. I've used it for years. I have a course on it. I think having the ability to quickly create predefined components is great for a lot of projects. And I'm not saying that Tailwind is better or worse than Bootstrap or any other framework for that matter. This is a Tailwind course, so I am going to try to outline the advantages, but just know that I'm not saying that anything is better or worse. So I just want to look at some differences here, though. So Tailwind was released in, I believe it was 2017, and it's a relatively new framework compared to Bootstrap that was released in 2011. So in the field, you're probably going to run into Bootstrap more than Tailwind. However, Tailwind is gaining a lot of traction. Now, as we talked about, Tailwind uses low-level classes or utility classes for fast UI development, and Bootstrap uses higher-level component-based classes, and it does offer some utility classes as well. So Tailwind has more flexibility and uniqueness because it's so unopinionated. In many cases, Bootstrap sites can look very similar, especially when the developer doesn't even bother to configure anything, any colors or anything like that. So Tailwind is customizable. You have directives and functions you can use. There's also a Tailwind CLI to set up your environment. We're going to get into that in a little bit. You can also install it as a post CSS plugin if you're using something like Webpack. And Bootstrap is also customizable through Sass, so you can change different variables for colors and so on. Tailwind is a bit more difficult, I would say. I feel like to use Bootstrap, you don't need to know that much CSS. You just need to remember the classes. Where with Tailwind, the classes essentially are the CSS properties. So you really have to understand, for instance, Flexbox in order to use the Flex classes, more so than Bootstrap columns or whatever. And then, of course, we have the fact that many Tailwind sites do have a ton of HTML classes. Bootstrap uses higher level classes, so of course you're going to have less of them. So another awesome thing about Tailwind is the dynamic or conditional classes for things like responsive design in different states. So if we look at this example here, we have a div with the class of Flex, which is just display Flex. That's all this is doing here. And then we're setting the Flex direction to a column with the class of Flex call. But then we're saying on medium screens and up, we actually want it to be a Flex row, which is a horizontal row. Okay, so it's rare that we have to write custom media queries because we have these responsive classes for different widths. We have small, medium, large, extra large, and you can even create your own. So we can also add.
Yeah, but they're getting funding though. They're getting funding.
Classes based on the state of an element. For instance, here we're saying to make the text color blue if the link is hovered over. So that class won't take effect until it's actually has a hover state. So this stuff makes Tailwind very powerful and makes it so we rarely ever have to leave the HTML for styling. Alright guys, so enough with the slides. We're going to get into our environment setup and then we'll start learning more about Tailwind and then we'll start to create some cool projects. Alright guys, so I'm going to go over our environment, which is very, very simple. When we're working with Tailwind, we're just working with HTML and CSS. We'll write a little bit of front-end JavaScript, but that's about it. Now, as far as the text editor you use, that's completely up to you. I personally would recommend VS Code for just about anything really these days, any language. It's very, very popular. It's very intuitive. It has great extensions. It's easy to use. It has an integrated terminal. The list just goes on. So it's definitely a piece of software that I simp for big time. So I would recommend that. It's cross-platform. You're also going to need to install Node.js on your system if you don't have it already. And the reason for that is we're going to be using the Node package manager to install Tailwind and some other packages as well. I'm going to give you an example of using Tailwind with Webpack. So you will need Node installed. I'm sure that a lot of you already have it installed, but if you don't, just go ahead and download it, go through the installer. It's very simple. And then you're going to need Git as well. You should be using Git. Now, these projects are pretty simple, so if you don't use it for version control, that's okay. But we will be deploying to Netlify. We're going to be deploying to a service called Vercel. And to deploy to both of those, we need to first push to GitHub. So we will need Git for that. And that's about it for actual programs that you need on your machine. Now, when it comes to VS Code, there are a few extensions that I'm running that I would recommend. So one would be Live Server, and if you use VS Code, I'm sure you know what Live Server is. It basically just allows you to run any HTML file on just a local development server, and it hot reloads, so anytime you make a change, it will update and make the change as well. So we'll be using that all throughout the course. And then there is a Tailwind right here, Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. So I would suggest adding this. It'll show you like the available.
What's up? What's up, Suhai?
Available classes, even though in most cases we'll be using Emmet, which I'll talk about next. But yeah, so this I would recommend. It gives you certain highlights and stuff. So get that installed. And then also this post CSS language support. When we use directives, there's something called directives in Tailwind. You're by default, you're going to get some squiggly lines with an error message. If you install this post CSS language support plugin, then it's not going to show those squiggly lines, and it also gives you some other functionality too when it comes to post CSS. So I would recommend that. Prettier as a code formatter, that's something that I use. It's really up to you if you want to use it. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Auto rename tag. So if you change the ending tag, like header to div or something, that'll change the other one as well. But other than that, the extensions you use are completely up to you. Now, if you're not familiar with Emmet, I'm sure most of you are, but if you're not, it's a tool that
No, I didn't take the
to write
advanced course.
HTML a little faster, and it comes standard with VS Code, but if you're using another text editor, like let's say Atom, I think that you have to install it as a plugin or as an extension. I don't think it comes automatically. So one thing it will do is just, if I want an H1 beginning and ending tag, I could just do H1 enter, and the same goes for any element. And if I want to put a class on, I could just do, let's say, dot text dash XL. If I hit enter, that'll automatically give me a div with that class. If I wanted an H1 with the class of text dash whatever 3XL, hit enter, it'll give me an H1 with that class. So I will be using Emmet quite a bit, and there'll even be cases where I want to have, like, let's say 10 divs with the text inside of item 1. So I might do something like this, div. You can open up some curly braces and say item and then number sign, and then I could do multiply that by 10, hit enter, and then I get 10 divs. Okay, so
Yep, I'm doing Tailwind now.
it all out. Now the downside is, if you're using the Tailwind extension, you don't get the helpers to, the class names don't pop up, the IntelliSense. So it's really up to you on if you want to use Emmet or not. I will be, so I just want to kind of let you know that. Also, one thing that can surprise people is when we do write some JavaScript. There's very little, but we will be doing some JavaScript. I don't use semicolons. I also always use single quotes, just to let you know. So if you want to add semicolons, that's absolutely fine. I tend not to use them in JavaScript. But other than that, I really can't think of anything else. As far as my configuration goes, I guess we could take a look. Actually, let's look at the JSON settings. So if we do a Command-Shift-P, and if you just search for JSON, and you go to your JSON settings, so my font size is 18, just so you guys can see it. The terminal size is bigger too, wherever that is. Right here, terminal, that's also 18. I don't have format on save. I do have that set to true. Format on save. I don't have autosave enabled. I'm using word wrap. My tab size I have set to 2. And I don't think any of this other stuff. Yeah, none of this other stuff really matters. So live server, Emmet, Tailwind, plugin, post CSS. That's pretty much it as far as my text editor environment. All right, so let's get on to the next video. All right, guys, so we're going to build quite a few projects in this course, but before we do that, I really want to zone in on the different aspects of Tailwind, the different classes, and what we can do with it. And I think one of the best ways to do that is with what I like to call a sandbox. So basically, I have this repo. I'll have the link somewhere in the course, and we have the done version and the starter version. So if we look at done, we're going to see all these folders that pertain to different areas of Tailwind. So typography, layout and positioning, borders, filters, flexbox, all kinds of stuff. Basically all the classes and class groups that Tailwind offers. So we're going to go through in the next, I believe the next 2 sections, we'll be focusing on all these different things. Now in the done folder, if I were to look at typography, for example, there's just a single HTML file, and we're going to go over all the different classes for font family, font size, font weight, letter spacing, all this stuff. And then at the bottom of each file, I have all the available classes, because I'm not going to get to demonstrate every single class, because some are kind of repetitive and are just different sizes and so on. So it's kind of like having the documentation right in the file. All right, so if we look at the starter, so we'll go in here, and we have all the same folders. If I look at typography, you'll see I do have all the commenting stuff at the bottom of the page, but I don't have any of the HTML. We're going to do all that together. We're going to talk about what each class does and you know, give you an example of it. Now this, I want to say that this part of the course is almost optional. So if you do have experience with Tailwind and you know, you're familiar with a lot of the common classes, you might want to skip this or maybe skip around and just do certain parts of it. It's really up to you. If you're interested in just creating projects, you could skip this part altogether. But if you are a beginner and you've never really used Tailwind, I would suggest that you go through the whole thing. But again, it's really up to you. It's preference. So what you want to do is get the starter version on your machine, because that's what we're going to be using. So you could either clone this repository if you're familiar with Git, or you could just download the zip. Which is what I'm going to do, and just open that up. And then what I would suggest you do is take the starter version and just either move or copy that somewhere on your machine, like your desktop, which is what I'm going to do, and then just rename it from starter to just Tailwind Sandbox, and then open this folder up with your text editor. I'm going to use VS Code. So now I have all the files and folders on the side here. And there's also an index file which has basically links to all of these. And I'm using an extension called Live Server with VS Code. That's what I'm going to be using. But you could just open all these HTML files just directly from your file system. But I'll say open with Live Server, and the index page is going to look like this. So basically we have links to all of those pages. All right, so most of these are going to be blank. So if we look at typography, that's blank. Some will have some starter HTML in it, like the utility first example. That's actually going to be what we talk about next. But now you have easy access to all those pages, and you have, the actual HTML files over here. And there's a few ways to get Tailwind set up. What we're doing for the sandbox is simply throwing in the CDN link right here, the script tag. So this isn't really recommended for production, but it's fine for what we're doing here. After we're done with all the sandbox stuff, we'll create a better environment where we can actually customize and do other things as well. All right, so most of the video...
Okay. I am going to leave for now. I'll be back. This is the first stream of the day. Usually we do 2 streams a day. So there will be another stream where you see me coding more. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna see y'all later. I'm tired. I'm gonna take a nap with the dog. You see what he doing? That's what we're about to do. All right. Y'all have a good one, and I will see y'all later.